Objective is to find the area of Texas. We are doing this by dividing Texas into rectangles and triangles, and each half inch is equal to 100 miles. We are breaking up the state of Texas into 7 shapes, 3 rectangles and 4 triangles.
Okay, so our first shape is a rectangle right here, so we are going to be using the equation base times height, but before we do that we have to convert inches into miles. So we would do 1.5 divided by 0.5, which is 3, and then we times it by 100, which is 300, so this would be 300 miles. And this one is 1 divided by 0.5, which is 2, times 100 equals 200. And then we multiply, so 300 times 200 equals 60,000 miles. That's the first area. So our next shape is a triangle, so we're going to be using base times height times 1/2, but first we have to convert inches into miles. So 1.1 divided by 0.5 is 2.2, and we times it by 100, which is 220, and 0.75 divided by 0.5 equals 1.5, and then we times that by 100, and we get 150. And then we put it into the equation, so it's 220 times 150 times 1.5, and we get the answer 16,500 miles squared.
So now we are trying to find the area of rectangle number 3. So we have 0.75 inches for our height and 2.5 inches for our base. Now we have to multiply them we have to convert them into miles first. So first we have to divide it by 0.5 because that's our rate. So it's 2.5 divided by 5, which gives us 5, and we multiply it by 100 to find our miles. So this is 500 miles. For our height, we also divide that by 0.5, and we multiply it by 100. So we end up with 150 miles. Now we multiply these two together to find our area, and we get 75,000 miles squared. Area of triangle 4. This is triangle 4. So our height is 1.25 inches and our base is 1.6 inches. The equation for the area of a triangle is base times height times 1/2. So first we have to convert these into miles. To convert it into miles, we divide by 0.5, and so for our height, we have 2.5, and we multiply it by 100 because that's just how it is. So it's 250 miles for our height. Now for our base, we also divide that by 0.5, so it's 1.6 divided by 0.5. That gives us 3.2, and we have to multiply that by 100 to find our total miles, so it's 320 miles. Now we multiply these two together. It's 320 times 250. That gives us 80,000 miles squared. We also have to divide that by 2 because it's a triangle. So that our final answer is 40,000 miles squared. Now we have to find the area of rectangle number 5. This is rectangle number 5. So first, we divide this by 0.5, so that's 1.75 divided by 0.5. So that gives us 3.5. Now we multiply it by 100 to find our miles for our base, so it gives us 350 miles. Now for our height, we have to divide that by 0.5 also. So it's 0.5 divided by 0.5, and that gives us 1. And if we multiply 1 by 100, it gives us 100 miles. Now if we do our multiplication, we should find our area for this rectangle, which is 35,000 miles squared. The area of triangle 6. This is triangle 6, this little small triangle right over there. So we have to divide our height, we have to multiply these two and multiply it by 1/2. So it's 0.25 divided by 0.5, just like all the other ones. So that's 0.25 divided by 0.5. That gives us 0.5. And we multiply it by 100 to give us 50. So it's 50 miles for our height. Now the next one is 0.6. So it's 0.6 divided by 0.5. We get 1.2, and we multiply that by 100 to get our base in miles. That gives us 120. Now we multiply our base and our height together, and we end up with 6,000 miles. But because it is a triangle, we have to multiply it by 1/2 or divide it by 2. And that ends up giving us 3,000 miles squared because it is the area of a triangle.
Okay, so our final triangle is the seventh right here, the tiny one. Since it's a triangle, we're gonna have to use the equation base times height times 1.5. But first we have to convert, so it's 0.5. I meant 0.25, my bad. Divided by 0.5, which equals 0.5. Oh no, then we times it by 100, my bad. So that equals 50 miles. And 100, and then we do 1 divided by 0.5, which equals 2, times 100, which equals 200. Then we put those numbers into the equation. 50 times 200 times 1/2, and we get the answer of 5,000 miles. Miles squared, and there is our answer.
Find the total area of Texas. We add up all the areas of every shape. The first one was 60,000 plus 16,500 plus 75,000 plus 40,000 plus 35,000 plus 3,000 plus 5,000. And from our calculations, we get 234,500, which is miles squared, which is the area of Texas.
According to our calculations.
According to our calculations. So the total area of Texas is actually 268,597 miles. And the area we got was 234,500, which means that we were off by 34,097 miles squared. We were off by 34,997 because of the little edges on Texas that we couldn't measure out with the straight edge.
And that's the reason why.
By 34,900.
Not this.
Okay,
Why?
actually, you're gonna have to edit something out because someone's embarrassed. Are you
No,
ready?
why would you?
Just ready?
Okay.
Dude, just